Here are 11 of the best Viper setups that nobody knows about. For the first setup we are going to be going over is attacking B site on split. This is generally a harder site to push, and you must know the smoke orb lineup for this to work. Otherwise, you're going to be exposed to heaven when pushing on the site. So the first thing you're going to want to do is stand right here in this corner by this little trash bag and trash can. Make sure you're pushing to the corner. Pull out your smoke orb, and you're going to want to aim your HUD in this little corner right here. So just look all the way up and put your HUD where mine is right now. And as you can see on the minimap, your smoke is going to land right here in this corner and rafters. So you want to throw that. And that lands right here on this corner. And for the wall, you're going to want to stand right here. Doesn't really matter. And on the minimap, you'll see that it covers hell and rafters. Kind of just look on the minimap. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this will cover heaven, rafters, hell, and the orb is just icing on the cake. So you throw your wall, and your orb's already there. You pop both, and when you walk onto the site, all this is covered. Rafters, heaven, hell, all that. But the problem we're having is, if you don't do that smoke orb, say you just place the wall, you're exposed to heaven like right here. So for example, if the wall is just placed and there's no smoke orb, people standing here, they can just kind of see you, you know? People up here, not really. But the big thing is, someone is going to be here, able to shoot you guys coming out of B main. But with both, there is nothing enemies can see. For the next setup, we're going to be talking about defending mid and A site on split. So your wall is going to be covering mid, and your orb is going to be covering A. So before the barrier drops, you're going to stand on this box right here. And aim your wall kind of diagonally like this. Making sure it covers all this to the side of the wall here. And then for the orb, you're going to want to stand right here in this corner. And you're going to make a one-way that lands right there, right here in this light. So you're going to want to aim your little HUD on this little side of the toolbox right here. I'll zoom in on it for you. And then when the barrier drops, just throw it. So the really good thing about this setup is if you're standing on top of rafters right here, you can see anybody that walks out and they can't see you. This is what the enemies see. They can see anyone over here, up top of the ramp. And for this wall, it really creates a lot of space for your team and gives the other team no space. They're going to have to be walking through this wall multiple times just if they want to cross over to the mid area and get control. And that's something that's going to be very difficult. So I like this wall a lot, and I think you should try it out in your own game. So for this next setup, we're going to be talking about getting a main control right here and covering over here by sands. So if they do decide to flood out one way or another, you're going to have control of either one or the other. For the wall, we're going to be standing right here and throwing your wall across sands, the doorway, and a main like this. And for the orb, we're not going to do the normal one-way up here. We're going to do a one-way right over here. So when the barrier drops, you're just going to want to stand over here on this wall, right here on this line, I guess. And look on this top of the wall right here and just bounce it off. And it creates a one-way right here. So you get all of this control, and before they see you, you'll be able to see them by their little feet. You can see if they grab the orb. And if they decide to not push this way and just go through the doorway, if you were to back up, you have this covered right here unless they go up the rope and onto here. But by that time, they're walking out this door, pushing through this wall, and you should have someone over here. Plus, the people that are over here on your team, they can see over this wall a little bit and shoot if anyone goes up the stairs or decides to go back site. For this next setup, we're going to be attacking B site. So for the initial wall, you're going to want to stand on the wall right here next to the pipe. And you want to throw your wall to where it covers the generator. Because sometimes you might have some jet or chamber just standing on top of it, or a raise. And this will cover canteen, the generator, and their spawn. And if anyone's flanking, it will cover that as well. So you're going to pop the wall. and you're going to be able to take site super easily. You're going to have to make sure no one is standing right here, and that's something you can do as a team. Have someone flash it, have someone stun it, do something. Once you're on the site, you're going to want to plant right here. Once you've planted the bomb, you're going to want to stand right here on this line. Aim your crosshair at the tip of this darker leaf right here. Give it a little throw, and it should stick right there. So now when you are playing defense, if they're going to try and defuse, it creates a one-way so they can't see. You can see them, and it also makes them vulnerable to the molly. For this next setup on Haven, I think is super underrated, and if you execute it right, you can be easily getting 2 to 3 kills on pistol round. So for example, the first wall we're going to be doing right here is we're going to be standing in this corner, just walling all the way through long, short, and covering B site. And the orb goes right here on the default planting spot. So when the round starts and you hear people pushing A, they're going to Sova Dart, they're going to use all their utility, you're going to pop both your orb and your wall, and when they come out onto the site, you're going to be dodging all that scanning util, and you're going to be able to get 2 or 3 kills, I guarantee it. Here's an example.
Too short.
Hey, hard.
Probably backside already. Wait.
Nice.
For the next setup, we're going to be talking about defending the C site. And a nice wall I like to do that covers the front of C, goes through mid, and covers the mid window. You want to stand right over here in the middle of these 2 pillars right here. And you want to aim your wall to where it hits the very corner of the window. So it has to hit the corner right here of this window, or it's going to be a little weird and people can see through it. Throw your wall over like that. Once the round starts, you can pop it and see how it covers the window right here, covers grass right here, and also covers C long right here. The good thing about this wall is since you threw in this corner right over here, if they decide to throw anything that scans, you can sit right here in this corner and dodge it. It might be a little expected if you do it multiple times, so be careful, but this is a really good strategy I like to use. If they are deciding to push C and they're just going to go through your wall, you can kind of just stand right here, let a few pass, and take a kill or 2. For our next setup, we're going to be talking about attacking A site on Haven. Now, attacking A site on Haven with Viper is pretty difficult, but not if you know these lineups. So for the wall, you're going to want to stand right next to the barrier and before it drops. And you're going to wall from lobby to short. There might be someone in this little corner, but they'll also cover the entrance right here. So, throw your wall. And when the round starts, the good thing about this wall is if anyone's peeking long with an op, you don't have to waste a jet smoke or a cypher trip, or a cypher cage, my bad. Easily cross the short right here. So once your team decides to go towards A, you're going to want to have your team get long control because you might die throwing this smoke orb. Stand on this wheelbarrow right here. And aim your crosshair right in the middle of this little light and do a jump throw. Orb lands right here in the window. Wall goes up and you got both your entrance smoked. This next setup is defending A site on Icebox. This one might take a little bit more practice and precision aiming, but having the smoke orb lineup is really, really good. So before the round starts, you're going to want to stand next to this barrier right here on the very corner of this line. You're going to want to look up and aim your crosshair. There's going to be a little line on the wall right here. And you're going to aim in between this line and the yellow line. So right around here. And once the round starts, just give it a throw. Once the round starts, you can pop it, and it creates a really nice one-way for belt. So when they're walking up here, they can't really see you unless you're pushed up really close. A really fun wall that you can complement with this orb is standing right here next to the barrels. And wall towards mid like this. This will stop the mid push. And when you do pop your wall, you can stand right here in this little corner. It's a pretty cheesy spot. No one will really expect you here all the time, but if you do sit here, you're gonna have to change up your strategy once in a while because they will expect you to be here again. But it's a nice way to throw off your opponent once in a while, and they don't really expect it all the time. For this next setup, we're gonna be talking about attacking A site on Lotus. Now I think attacking A site on Lotus with Viper is probably her best site to be executing, so this is the best setup I think there is. It also complements your Molly lineup. So when the round starts, you're gonna push up over here, stand on this rock right here in this corner, and you want to throw your wall like this, covering A main, the stairs, and up top here by the rope. And for your smoke orb, you're going to want to stand right here next to this log, just pushed up in this corner, and you want to aim the little diamond on this corner right here. So the diamond is going to be the one on the left of your smoke orb crosshair, just like this. Then you want to do a jump throw. This is going to land in the spot that covers back sight and the plant spot right here. So all together it looks like this. Covers this little area right here, covers the stairs, covers up top of the rope. If anyone's sitting back sight, like over here, it covers this. Can't really see. You're gonna plant right here in this corner. And the Toxin Orb is gonna be eating away at their health while you play your Molly lineups over here. Now for our next setup, we're gonna be attacking A site on Pearl. Now, I never see anyone do it on my team because I'm basically always Viper, but even when I go up against enemy Vipers, they never really do this. And I think it's very easy and effective way to take A site. Now we're gonna do a pretty basic wall. So when the barrier drops, you're gonna wanna throw your wall over like this. And for the orb, you're gonna stand in this corner right here. Aim your crosshair on the corner where this pillar meets the metal fence around it. That goes right through, and the orb lands on the stairs. So if they're sitting back here, they can't see. And if they're back here, they can't see either. And complemented with the wall, it should look like this. So from an enemy's perspective, they can't really see anything from over here by art. And if they're coming from flower, they can't really see anything either. Even if they're rotating all the way from spawn, they can't see, and then they're also blocked here by dugout. And the only way to really go up against this is by jumping up on top of here. And if you're doing that, you're walking through the orb and you're exposed. And for the final setup of this video, this one is going to be one of my favorite ones to do on Pearl, so you probably do know this if you watched my videos before, so bonus points for you. But I really like defending B site on Pearl. And a really good wall is standing right here behind this box before the barrier starts. And throwing your wall diagonally, cutting off the corner of B site, all the way to shop. And if you really even want to get more fancy with it, once you throw the wall, stand here on the door. And when the barrier drops, just throw it one way. This covers the mid doors like this. They can't really see because you can stand on top of that box. And if you're defending B site, this is a really good retake wall. They can't really push onto the site. And if they do get onto the site, you have a really nice retake wall. So with the wall and orb placed, should look like this. If you knew about any of these setups before, let me know in the comments. And if you guys enjoy videos like this, be sure to check out another video of mine here.